from Houston, Texas, a show for local business owners. This is Business Houston Podcast. If you're a small or medium-sized business, this is your source for trends, interviews, and tips for winning in today's economic climate. Presented by the BBB for Greater Houston and South Texas. You're listening to Business Houston, and this is your host, Matt Bertram.
Hello and welcome to Business Houston Podcast. My name is Matt Bertram, and I have with me today Drew from Southern Green Builders. Drew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you?
Good. I know we were having a little technical issues getting started here, so we're going to just kind of jump right in. I feel like Houston building right now is just through the roof. I know lumber was up and then it came back down, and COVID's messed with the supply chains, but Houston's rocking and rolling. It seems like everybody from California is moving here, and it's a great place to be and be in the building business, huh?
It is. It's not without its challenges, and yes, lumber futures indicate we're moving in the right direction, but we haven't realized those savings fully at this moment. But hopefully that trend will continue, and we'll see some reprieve there.
And I saw, were you wearing an Aggie ring? Was that right? Were you wearing an Aggie ring here? Yeah. So I'm actually an Aggie graduate as well. I'm class of 05. So
fantastic.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the building industry, and then we'll get into a little bit more about Southern Green Builders.
Sure. We so I started pretty much right out of college in construction. Had a brief stint selling individual health and life policies right at the beginning of the 2000s, but then got my career start with a regional home builder here who was very good at teaching and training and very good at building as well, and worked my way up through that company until 6 or 7 years with them. Decided I want to do things a little bit differently, and started a company that was doing hurricane repair work after 2008 Hurricane Ike here in Houston, and took a leap of faith and hard work, and we formed our companies, and Southern Green Builders is from that. And myself, my business partners, we are Aggies. We met at Texas A&M, the Corps of Cadets, and formed a unique friendship and bond that's been able to continue through the business environment. And we started doing Southern Green Builders. We started doing a couple small remodels in the Heights, 2008, 2009. And, one project grew to another project, to a bigger project, to several bigger projects. And today we are a full service custom home builder in the greater Houston market.
Okay. So mainly custom homes, and it looks like historic renovations from your site.
All renovations, and we got a heavy focus in historic because that's where we got our start. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I was actually class of I was in the Corps Cadets as well. I was in the D2, company D2. So
okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We were in K1.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I can pull up your website and maybe share some of the. It looks like you have a nice portfolio here of a couple pictures, so anybody that's watching can see what we're talking about here. Let's get this shared up here. SouthernGreenBuilders.com is the website for anybody listening. So that's SouthernGreenBuilders.com, and really laid out. They talk about their historic renovations, their custom homes, their process, their team, how to connect with them, and then they have a portfolio here of just some fantastic slideshows of some of the remodels they did. Is there any Drew, any ones, I know maybe you can't mention certain things about houses or whatever, but is there any kind of area or project that you're particularly proud of that you want to highlight?
Well, I think more than the project, I'm particularly proud of our process. I think we have a different approach of trying to build a team up front. with us being the construction costing arm, and architects and interior designers are the creative spatial layout and the look and feel part. And when we work together with a client up front, before they go to build the house, we can establish realistic budgets. We deliver a better value to the end user. And so we apply that to every project. So that process is something that we've worked very hard at. We've learned through good and bad experiences on what to do and what not to do. And we're always tweaking and trying to improve that. But that process is really what we hang our hat on, and we provide the best value to our clients.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Are you a design build firm where you have architects or people doing the design in-house, or do you have architects that are go-to that are really tight part of the process, or what does that look like exactly?
No, good question. And we do not employ architects or designers in-house, but we have strategic partnerships with architect firms, design firms, interior designers that we work with on consistent basis. And we like to, when a client is considering a project, they can reach out to us and we can help facilitate that process with the end goal and budget in mind, versus drawing this project to what you want without any regard to cost or any accurate understanding of the cost. So we do have those team of people that we network with and we do a lot of projects with that we can manage that process.
Well, awesome. No, I think historic is certainly a niche, and branching out into more custom homes. It's kind of like when you do the hardest. I know that there's a lot of restrictions when you do historic remodels. My parents are in Fredericksburg, and they kind of deal with some of this historic codes and stuff. So I think it's really good to work with a firm that really understands, permitting and codes and what's possible and what's not, especially when you're looking at high-end custom design. There's so many attention to detail that maybe spec builders don't have. So I think that is really quite phenomenal. I know that you're a member of the BBB. I would love to hear kind of from you what being part of the BBB means to you, and maybe how you differentiate yourself from competitors beyond your process.
Sure, you bet. So the BBB, we've been members for a long time, and we've signed up and been sustaining members with this organization for the main reason being it's the original, social proof. It's the original group that people would go to and see, hey, is this business valid? Do they have good reviews? Does anybody have a complaint against them? It's that original body that can vet past clients, share experiences, and validate a business. So since its longevity, the history of the BBB, we find that it's a good valued resource and a good program to be a part of. And people have that trust in the organization, and we do it too.
Absolutely. We should definitely get that banner on the website. You can certainly put that on the website in your footer or in your header and link back to your profile. Certainly would recommend that so people can see it. We know that it helps improve conversion rates and that sort of thing. So would definitely recommend that to broadcast that. What other things do you do to differentiate yourself, or how are you is it personal network, referrals? How are some other things? Like, I know with COVID, how has COVID kind of affected your business? I know, some people used to do networking talks with maybe realtors, or just how has COVID impacted you? It seems like buildings never slowed down. It was a protected industry with what was going into it. So fared quite well, but what are you seeing in maybe the high-end custom home market or the historic renovations with COVID?
The challenges, there are many challenges here, and I think they're just different in industry. You hit the nail on the head. We never slowed down at all. That's for sure. But the challenges we had is our supply chain was very hectic to manage and still is today. Lead times continually jumping. They keep growing. The challenges of the Texas freeze in February escalated that. So it's harder to get vinyl products. It's harder to get foam products. It's harder to get all those components that revolve around those items. So the supply chain has been the hardest thing that we've had to manage. Lead times for some things, for example, appliances, most usually had a lead time of 45 to 60 days. Some appliances jump to 3 to 4 months. Some appliances jump to 5, 7 months and beyond, depending on what you select. So knowing those lead times, knowing how to manage it, how to schedule when those things are going to be needed and when we're going to have to order them has been the biggest challenge. And it seems odd that we talk with clients and say, hey, we're about to start construction. You need to pick your appliances, light fixtures, plumbing fixtures, everything today. And a lot of them ask why. And once we explain, well, the lead times are why. We found a way to manage that and always in touch with that supply chain management. And that's been our biggest struggle from COVID. The challenges it's given to the end user is some of these products just may not be supportive of their timeframes, where they may want to have a build in 8 to 10 months, but some of the products they want are 10 to 12 months. May adjust them to choose a different product. So,
I've seen that with like maybe windows and doors in particular. Like you need to have windows and doors on your house, and then if you're shipping appliances, then you can't like shipping them to the location. You need to have a house to lock them in certain areas of down over by the med center. I've seen the challenges and struggles and building is a lot of project management planning ahead of time. And it's like trying to get all of it up front and then hoping everything comes in time to do, if there's any dependency. So I certainly think that's a challenge. I mean, what would be some recommendations or a recommendation either, over the course of just kind of in general custom building for, a potential person that decides they maybe want to build a home or renovate a home, or just something maybe in particular due to COVID that you might share that would be helpful in their journey?
I think it's clear that whomever you work with, if it's our firm or any other firm, that they have a clear understanding of your timeline goals. They have a clear understanding of the products you want to put in it. And you have, as the client, you understand what the builder is going to use. We have a very detailed specification book that we put together on every project. I mean, it's a 100 to 120 page document, because the plans themselves sometimes don't have all the detail you need. They may say, I'm going to use siding, for example. There may be a picture that says siding, but what type of siding, what thickness of siding, what manufacturer is that, what gap are you going to put on the spacing of it, and knowing all of those extra details with just siding is critical to know how we have to order it, and it's critical that you know what's going in it. So understanding exactly what every product is and exactly what's being put in up front, that way you can manage the purchase of it, the delivery of it in a timely manner. I think that's critical today. Like I said, from that supply chain management, plumbing fixtures, you're going to buy, brand X or brand Y, and which one and which model. Let's get it here. Let's go ahead and order it and be prepared to pay for those things early.
I think people are flooded with how many options there are. Like, I don't think people have really thought about how many different options there are, and it sometimes is somewhat overwhelming. So let me ask you, so I'm assuming you're like a cost plus builder if you're building custom homes. Can you talk maybe about who your maybe ideal client is, what areas of town you're building in? Just give us a little bit better idea of scope of projects, that sort of thing, for anyone that might be interested.
Yeah, we are primarily a fixed price contractor.
Oh, wow.
with
See, that's
allowances. Because we specify everything up front, you know what you're getting. We hard cost it up front, and we fix that contract price. We can do a cost plus structure, but we prefer to pick everything out up front, and it's known, and it's verified, and it's solidified. So we get down to those details early and document them very, very well. Our ideal customer for us, that's somebody who is going to be building in the greater Houston area. I say that because we have more projects now that are out in rural acreage communities in Richmond, in Missouri City, and growing outside of the center of Houston. That client wants to have a good captain in the process. They want somebody who understands the design, understands the interior designs, the structural designs, and how it all relates to the cost and timing of their project, and can put that together and have a very smooth process with details fully explained, fully costed, and fully and clearly communicated to them in a transparent format. That's who we like to work with.
Well, I can say to be a fixed price builder with all the supply chain issues, you really have to be certainly buttoned up and know what secondary and third options are going to be there available. And I think that speaks back to your process and how well laid out and how well organized it is. And I think that that's phenomenal that you can do that and lay that out, and then anybody that's building a home doesn't get hit with unexpected costs. So I think that that's really, really phenomenal. So Drew, how do people, if there's anything else we didn't cover, please, this is an opportunity to kind of share that if you want anybody to know anything else about Southern Green Builders or yourself. And then what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
No, I appreciate the conversation today. I think this was good, and the best ways to reach out to us are either via our website inquiry. We have some things online that help you navigate the process of building, help you navigate the process of finding a lot in Houston, how all those things work through our news feed and blog posts. We put that on our website. Our phone number's on there. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook as Southern Green Builders. Or myself on LinkedIn as well. So those are our social platforms and where we broadcast the information that we're constantly finding ourselves and how we work.
And I know a lot of people are on Instagram. I know your website, once again, is southerngreenbuilders.com. Yeah. And then if you have handy your Instagram handle, if not, your phone number.
Yeah, phone number is 713-917-6836. And the Instagram handle, I believe it's just Southern Green Builders. It's at the top corner of our website and can go to there or Facebook.
Perfect. All right, Drew. Well, thanks for having me on. If you'll just stick around, here we go.
Thanks so much for listening. Business Houston puts a spotlight on local small and medium-sized business, interviewing those successful business owners in Houston and those business owners that are winning in today's economic climate. Business Houston is presented to you by the BBB of Greater Houston and South Texas. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at Hugh Biz Podcast. That's HOU Biz Podcast. Till next time, this is Business Houston.